Flash flood warnings in Rockbridge County and Buena Vista. That and more coming up on the Rockbridge Report.
Welcome to the Rockbridge Report. I'm Michael Agrippina.
And I'm Olivia Hampton.
A shooting at an Atlanta middle school has sent one student to the hospital. According to Atlanta Public Schools, the student has been transported to Grady Hospital. An Atlanta police official said the victim was alert, conscious, and breathing. The school system's Twitter feed reports that one suspect is in custody.
This week, Virginia delegates voted on gun control legislation. It rallied supporters on both sides of the issue. Rockbridge reporter Andrew Sorgel has the story.
Nearly 1,000 gun control advocates marched on the streets of Washington this weekend. They're calling it the 1 Million Mom March.
I really believe that the majority of the citizens in our district would like to see some gun control.
Most activists are pushing lawmakers to ban assault weapons, but all agree that gun control is an issue. Here in Virginia's 6th District, lawmakers seem to think otherwise. Congressman Bob Goodlatte is one of the top recipients of funding from the National Rifle Association. He could not be reached for comment, but some locals are concerned that Goodlatte is looking to cater to the NRA and not the state of Virginia.
I really don't believe that he's listening to all of his constituents on this, and I would like to have better representation in terms of these gun laws with my representative.
Virginia's next move could be putting guns into schools. A bill advanced through the House this week that would allow armed security guards to patrol private schools. There's even talk of sending officers into elementary schools across the state. Lexington Public Schools have already opened their doors to security.
Currently in the city of Lexington, they have a program where officers go into the schools periodically, unannounced.
Some Rockbridge County gun owners feel the answer lies in more responsibility, not more security.
Obviously, we believe in gun ownership, but we believe in responsible gun ownership. All of my guns in my home are stored in a safe, so nobody but me can get to those.
Monty Jesse of High Country Outfitters sells guns and shooting equipment just outside of Lexington, but he shoots them too. He frequents Blue Ridge Shooters Club in Vesuvius 3 times every week. For Jesse and the rest of the shooting range visitors, these outings are about fun and safety.
Put your thumb over on top of your other thumb.
Right, like here?
There, yep, exactly. Slow trigger squeeze.
Yeah, I crossed my hand.
Here in Virginia, it's perfectly legal to carry guns like these fully loaded in public. It was a scene that terrified shoppers at a Kroger in Charlottesville on Sunday evening. But from the Blue Ridge Shooters Club, for the Rockbridge Report, I'm Andrew Sorgel.
Police chiefs and sheriffs from major U.S. cities gathered at the White House on Monday. President Obama continued his push to change gun safety laws. He says he's looking to prevent shootings like the one in Newtown, Connecticut from happening. Obama wants police chiefs who deal with guns every day to come to a consensus on the new laws. His priorities include school safety and mental health assistance. A skeet shooter himself, Obama says he is a fan of hunting, but the National Rifle Association is striking down on the laws. They don't believe it's a tradition. They say it's a right of the American people.
Sheets of rain came down on Rockbridge and nearby counties yesterday evening. Lexington got 2.5 inches of rain. Woods Creek and parts of the Maury River by Furs Mill Road overflowed. Buena Vista had a bit more with 3 inches. At the storm's peak, as many as 100 residents were out of power in Rockbridge County alone. The county's emergency management coordinator said roads may be closed due to flooding. Citizens should be mindful of the weather while driving and be updated on traffic conditions. The National Weather Service has issued a flood warning for Buena Vista, Rockbridge County, and many of the surrounding counties. That lasts until 6 p.m. tonight.
There are limited forensic resources for sexual assault victims in Rockbridge County. Rockbridge County has no PERC kits. That stands for Physical Evidence Recovery Kit. Sexual assault victims need these if they want to have evidence to press charges against their attackers. It's because Carleone Stonewall Jackson Hospital won't hire forensic nurses, the only ones qualified to complete the exam. Those who have been sexually assaulted must go outside the county to get help. But the process is traumatic. Tests are run and victims' clothes are taken as evidence. Most leave in nothing but a hospital gown. But for those willing to drive to Augusta Health Center in Fishersville, there is relief. Fear to Freedom, a nonprofit, makes care packages with toiletries and a change of clothes. They've teamed up with Project Horizon at Washington and Lee University to help spread awareness throughout the area.
We don't want more rape cases so we can get forensic nurse examiners. But yet I am afraid that there are people who don't come forward because they don't know what the resources are.
In March, Fear to Freedom will hold a community event to assemble the care packages.
Women's health services have been missing from Lexington for quite some time. The Lewis Gale Specialty Center is one of the few centers, but Carilion Stonewall Jackson Hospital doesn't have a birthing unit. Expectant mothers have to travel to Salem to deliver their children. There is hope for improvement, though. Virginia's Augusta Healthcare for Women opened a location last June, but only operates 3 days a week. The Lewis Gale Center isn't open 5 days a week either.
Helen Dragas has won a second four-year term as rector for the University of Virginia. The House of Delegates voted 63 to 33 on Tuesday to confirm her reappointment. Dragas caused an uproar last summer when she got UVA President Teresa Sullivan fired. This prompted a 2-week campus revolt, and Sullivan was reinstated. Dragas and Sullivan have publicly reconciled, but there are concerns about the damage to the school. An accrediting agency put UVA on warning, and some donors have stopped donating to it.
Finally, some good news about the economy.
And a new business on I-81 coming up next.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes up to bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
$7,000 high school students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks, more than 4 miles long. We can keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step.
Local investors have finalized plans for a $10 million project expected to boost tourism in Rafine. Rockbridge reporter Mickey Gorman has the story.
In 4 months, construction of a travel plaza will begin on Interstate 81. The plans for the Owasso Center are finalized. Now, investor Gordon Barlow is only waiting for the land to be rezoned by county officials.
We have a very cooperative group of administrative folks in Rockbridge County that are very interested to see it come.
The word Owasso means beautiful things in one Native American language. It's reflective of what investors hope to sell. The plaza and artisan shop will feature crafts and artwork from all over Virginia.
Inside, it's going to be dedicated primarily to the artist. The goal of the Owasso Group is to build a cottage industry in Virginia that supports the artist.
Barlow compared his vision to the Tamarack Culture Center in Beckley, West Virginia. Tamarack has gained a fair amount of regional celebrity. It has drawn more than 6 million visitors in the past 17 years. Even on a cold winter day like this, the Tamarack has seen nearly 300 customers. Compare that to 3,000 that come in on the average summer day.
I just come here to eat.
The restrooms and
I like the
food.
ceramics.
But the Rafine Center will be more than just a truck stop and restroom. Barlow says the Owasso will help boost local businesses.
Well, we'd like to think that if they market themselves well and put on a pretty front, that they will get lots of traffic out of this.
For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Mickey Gorman.
Developers expect the Osawa Center to open 18 months after starting construction.
Two of Lexington's most historic inns have been sold. The Alexander Withrow House and the McCampbell Inn are now owned by a family in Richmond. Guests who had booked rooms in advance were notified via mail. While their reservations were lost, all deposits were returned. The buildings were previously owned by the Historic Country Inns of Lexington. The company also owns Maple Hall, which is still up for sale. It's a purchase that displaced one Lexington gallery. The new owners gave Artists in Cahoots 30 days to move out, but luckily, the gallery found another space just a few doors down. They hope to open the new Washington Street store tomorrow.
Although it won't be perfect, a lot of people have expressed an interest in seeing what we're doing with the place. And so since other galleries in the immediate vicinity are having First Fridays this coming weekend, we thought we'd be in there with them.
Members of Artists in Cahoots say the move has been expensive, but being close to Lexington's other galleries makes them optimistic about the future.
And that was just a small indicator of a general uptick in the local housing market. According to a national U.S. Census Bureau report, new home construction rose 28% in 2012, and permit requests for new home construction increased 30%. Lexington's housing market is slowly following suit. Local home builders say they are seeing construction come back after it virtually disappeared after 2009. The city approved 12 residential building permits in 2007, compared to only 9 between 2008 and 2011. Economists and investors see the housing recovery as a signal of growing economic strength.
For the second year in a row, the Virginia House of Delegates passed legislation that is being called the Tebow Bill. The bill would allow homeschooled students to play on public school athletic teams. The state Senate killed the same bill last year. A similar Florida law was made famous by New York Jets quarterback Tim Tebow. Tebow was homeschooled but played quarterback for the Nice High School football team.
Reporter, editor, and creator of the Rockbridge Advocate, Doug Harwood, will be accepted into the Virginia Mass Communications Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame was started in 1986 by Virginia Commonwealth's School of Mass Communications. The ceremony will take place this April at the John Marshall Hotel in Richmond. Harwood started the Rockbridge Advocate 20 years ago with then-partner Kitty Sachs. He has continued to remain an important part of Lexington's culture during the Advocate's run. Although he is honored, Harwood remains humble when asked about this honor.
I don't particularly think I deserve it, but it's nice to be recognized when you're alive, and that's something.
After 20 years reporting in Lexington, Harwood still loves what he does. He says he will continue supplying Lexington with hard-hitting news and humor.
The 70,000 unmarried Virginia couples who live together may no longer be breaking the law. On Monday, the Courts of Justice Committee unanimously advanced a bill that repeals existing laws prohibiting the couples from living together. For 136 years, Virginia has made these living arrangements a crime, though the law hasn't been enforced in a very long time. 3 other states have similar laws.
After the break, we'll catch you up on local sports.
And talk about one basketball player who's scoring big for Rockbridge County High School.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who take action are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making home affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers, right now.
This is one amazing truffula tree. Can you imagine a place where these grow everywhere? Yes, it's called the Forest, a magical place to enjoy with your family. So discover the forest and explore all the wonder that's there. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Let's turn over this log. Yeah. Whoa! I like the big black ones. I like the brown wiggly ones.
I like the green crunchy ones myself.
Whoa.
Get out and explore nature. There's surprises everywhere. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Anyone up for dessert?
Every book is an adventure waiting to come to life. Visit new worlds. Encounter new friends. And discover the power of reading. Go to read.gov to read A Princess of Mars, the first novel to feature John Carter. A new world awaits. Read.
Students were seen in t-shirts and shorts earlier this week, but temperatures have since steadily dropped. We had winds and a high of 30 today, with temperatures dropping steadily to 18 tonight. Tomorrow, we'll see a high of 29, but temperatures will dip as low as 25 at night. On Saturday, we'll see a bit of sun as temperatures hover between 35 and 20. Colder temperatures will continue into Sunday, when we'll see a high of 40 and a low of 32. We'll start the week with temperatures edging up to 50 degrees.
It was a historic week for Washington and Lee men's basketball. The Generals beat Virginia Wesleyan for the first time since December 2nd, 2001. In a game that went down to the wire, the Generals pulled away with a 1-point victory. This win ended a 23-game losing streak to the Marlins. This week in men's basketball, the Washington and Lee Generals lost in overtime to Bridgewater. The VMI Keydets pulled off a 1-point victory against Radford. SVU lost to Frostburg State in an 87-84. In high school men's basketball, Perry McClure put on a scoring clinic. They trumped Craig County by 67 points. Rockbridge High got the best of Allegheny with a 2-point victory. In women's hoops, SVU lost to Frostburg State 60-48, and Perry McClure made it a 2-for-2, beating the Craig County Rockets 67-45. The Rockbridge County Wildcats lost to Allegheny 66-52. The Generals face off with Bridgewater tonight at 7 p.m.
Rockbridge County High School is home to a high-scoring point guard. Andrew Rousey has his team off to a 12-5 start and has scored as many as 52 points in a game. Rousey's accolades have attracted many Division I schools looking to recruit the 5'11 senior. But head coach Daryl Plogger said his star has remained humble. Rousey recently signed a scholarship to play at the University of North Carolina at Asheville next season.
They get, every 4 years, they get new recruits for a point guard position, and it just was the right fit for me going into it, and it just worked itself out.
Next time you head to the polls, you may have to bring a photo ID. After a 4-hour-long session Tuesday, a Virginia Senate committee approved a bill that says the state would provide a free photo ID to anyone who didn't have one. These IDs would be used when voting. Opponents warn of the difficulty in obtaining photos of all the voters, especially the elderly. Supporters say that the inconvenience is worth it to prevent election fraud. The legislation may have a hard time facing Governor McDonnell. Earlier this week, one of the Commonwealth's House panels killed a similar proposal. This proposal would have paired voters' pictures with other information about them on computerized poll books. Last year, a state law was passed that requires voters without proper photo IDs to cast provisional ballots until they verify their identity.
This spring, we'll see how much collectors will pay for a 5-cent coin. 4 Virginia siblings are selling a Liberty Head nickel that is expected to fetch over $2 million. The rare coin has a story that dates back to 1912. It was illegally minted in Philadelphia. 4 other coins completed a set with the year 1913 on their faces instead of the year 1912. About 30 years later, the sets separated. This coin was discovered in a car wreck that killed its owner and declared a fake. It was forgotten for decades and then found to be real. Recently, it has been exhibited nationwide along with the 4 others, but it will be up for grabs at the Rare Coin and Currency auction.
Thank you for joining us this afternoon. And remember, you can always visit us on the web at rockbridgereport.washingtonandlee.net.
I'm Michael Agrippina.
And I'm Olivia Hampton. See you next week.